thoughts on Jimmy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to get Jimmy. He's a elite talent, one of the best playoff performers in the league, and it's a huge addition for us. So excited. I haven't even met him yet. He hasn't gotten here yet, so I'm excited to just say hello and welcome him aboard and get to work.
I know it's extremely early, but have you thought about how he fits into what you guys typically do offensively, and how much you guys are going to kind of have to rearrange around him?
Yeah, I mean, we'll keep it pretty simple. I mean, he's a great player. All great players, they figure out how to play with other great players. So I'm not too worried about, him fitting in with, with his teammates. We just have to simplify the actions that we run. Just make sure we're letting him settle in with a few different things that we run with good spacing, and let him play basketball. And that's I don't think that will be too big of a challenge. I think the biggest thing for us is what are the combinations around him? Who are we playing with him? He'll for sure play the non-Steph minutes, so we can run our offense through him when Steph's on the bench. But we've got a lot of candidates to put next to him, and we've got to figure out those rotations.
Think he'll debut Saturday?
I hope so. I haven't talked to him, haven't talked to Rick, so we'll see. I'll know more later tonight.
When you talk about the combinations and thinking about who might be able to fit next to him, how much of that is spacing?
Well, I mean, spacing is the name of the game these days. It's the modern NBA. So we have a pretty unique team. We haven't necessarily had shooting bigs here. We're starting one right now with Quentin, and we can see the impact that makes. But we've played and won a lot of games with Loon and Draymond together at the 4 and the 5. I think that's probably the biggest question is, if Jimmy's at the 3, can we play Draymond at the 4 or Draymond at the 5 with JK? Those 3 guys. I mean, it's tantalizing, the thought of the talent, the ability to switch defensively. But we've got to be able to generate good offensive possessions, and that'll be the question and the challenge.
How do you see Jimmy fitting in terms of his personality versus the established personalities that you have from Steph, Draymond, obviously very different personalities, and others that have been in your locker room for years?
I don't know Jimmy. I've never actually spoken with him. I know from watching him that he is a big-time pressure player, postseason player. So that would fit well in our locker room. We've got other guys who have been through the battles, been through the war. So I think when you put a group of guys like that together, there's going to be a belief. There's going to be a confidence that comes with that. And so I'm excited to see what that looks like. But like I said, never been around Jimmy. I'm excited to meet him and to get to know him and for him to be part of the team.
Steve, aside from how it ended in Miami, your relationship with Spo, have you talked to him to kind of find out about anything about Jimmy, or have you guys talked about Jimmy in the past?
We have not. We texted briefly last night, but nothing substantial. It was more, just a brief thought on the trade, and that was it. He's busy, I'm busy, so nothing really to report there.
Hey, Steve. Good to see you. What do you think was key for Mike in the front office to make a win-now move without mortgaging the future?
Well, I think that was the key to the deal, was that we didn't trade all our picks going forward. So this accomplishes 2 things. It gives us a chance here the next couple of years with, Steph and Jimmy together and Draymond, but keeps our future assets intact, and that was important to the organization. It was important to Steph and me. I mean, we didn't want to do anything crazy, so this was a way to raise our ceiling, but preserve our future.
Wiggins was so important to you guys, especially defensively at the point of attack, even against some guards. Do you envision Jimmy, fulfilling a similar role defensively?
Yeah, for sure. Jimmy's going to have to guard, the opponent's best players, and we'll miss Wiggs in that regard, and many other ways as well. So Jimmy, is very well suited to take on, that same role.
Hey, Steve, you guys are obviously in 11th, so there's a long way to go. But what odds would you give the Warriors in a playoff series with Jimmy, Steph, and Draymond?
Do you want like numbers or? I just know that the playoffs are different. It's almost a different sport in some ways, and so we're getting a guy who's a proven playoff performer. I like the idea that we're healthy. We can put it together, give ourselves a chance. Then I think Jimmy, we've seen what he can do. You don't have a nickname like that for nothing, and so we're that's the whole point. Is let's see what we can put together here the next the last 32 games of the year. Give ourselves an opportunity to get to the playoffs and give it a run.
Steve, a couple weeks ago, I wrote a story about heat culture and sort of where was the intersection between heat culture and Jimmy and stuff. There's a Warriors culture too, though, right? And how do you absorb him into the Warriors culture, or is it a living, breathing thing that just has to evolve?
Yeah, it's a living, breathing thing, but it's real. You feel it, when you have a strong culture. It's hard to quantify or define, but you feel it. And I think a lot of our culture has people have observed and looked at it and see the joy and the way Steph plays and the energy and the beauty of it all, but. You don't win 4 championships without being. My mom's here tonight. I can't swear without being extremely competitive. Extremely competitive. So we have a competitive group, and I know Jimmy is also extremely competitive. So I think he'll fit right in.
Steve Beck, right? We saw JJ down the hall with his Palisades Dolphin sweat top on. I understand you're bringing the team tonight. What's kind of your motivation, and what would you like to give these young men after everything they've been through?
Yeah, I'm excited. The Lakers did a great job of helping put this together. So we've got the Pally team coming in. I wanted to host them just because it's my alma mater, and my mom lost her house, and JJ will come by after the game too to spend time with the team. We've gotten them a bunch of shoes and gear. Hopefully, the NCAA won't crack down on any violations or anything like that. But I wanted to thank Jeannie Buss and Linda Rambus because they were really instrumental in helping put this together. I told Linda that we were going to make them Warriors fans because of with the gear that we're providing them, and Linda said that they'll always be Laker fans. So, but it's been nice just to collaborate with the Lakers and hopefully put together a nice evening for the Pally team and coaches and. Spend a little time with them. I know a lot of them lost their homes, and JJ and I know exactly what they're going through. So if we can, give them a good night, something to remember, and also get away from the, what's been happening lately. That's hopefully a nice thing for them.
You're gonna have Draymond and some of the guys that were listed. Who won't you have tonight?
I'm sorry?
Who's available?
Right now, I think Moses and Guy are questionable, so they're going to go warm up, and Steph and Draymond are scheduled to play. So I don't anticipate any issues there.